All praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Ha-Rakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, which rule great millstone well. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom wa abababal. Alright, so I'm going to speak on Obadiah and verse... verse 2. I'll read it in context. Alright, but in verse 2, just for clarity, alright, when it says, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised, what it's going in is on these Edomites, alright? That word there is small.
Strong's H 6996. Katan. Gesenius Lexicon. Katan.
So
Katan.
young.
Second entry. Katon.
But you got young, small, insignificant, unimportant. Alright? So these are all fulfilled by Esau Edom. Alright? The younger one, Job 30. Alright, Job 30. What do you say? Job 30. Verse 1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, meaning they're talking shit, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Talking about the Edomites, alright? That's why in this chapter, Obadiah, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the supreme power, Yahweh, concerning Edom. Edom is the so-called white race. Their biblical name is Edom. Their forefather is Esau. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, which Yahweh has it on the right hand through his prophets, this report coming out, and an ambassador, meaning on the left hand, the heathen, is set among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her, America, the kingdom of Edom, in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Which there's 18 nations. Israel is the chosen seed of Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai. Yahweh is the supreme God. His only begotten son is Yahushai, the Messiah of Israel. The Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which been scattered throughout the world in slavery. Once again, the Edomites are the red devils, the so-called Caucasians the Bible speaks of. Esau, Edom, alright, they're the wicked that rule the world right now. Alright, now the word small, once again, Katan, right, Katan, young, so them that are younger than I, because the so-called white man didn't exist until Cain, which originally everybody was so-called black, alright? But Cain lost his color, alright? And that's why Esau was born red, because he's the reincarnation of Cain, alright? In Genesis, let me see here. Alright? So when Cain killed his brother, it says in Genesis 4 verse 8, and Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. At this point, there was no such thing as a so-called Caucasian. Every man, woman, and child were dark brown. It says, and Yahweh said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? which he's a hateful bastard just like then. And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground, which Esau's sins have reached heaven, just like Cain's. It says, And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. So just like Cain, so is Esau. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. And that's why they have all these farming, chemicals. That's why they got GMO plants. That's why they clone. That's why they bring immigrants to pick the fruit. That's why they're getting robots to work the fields. Is because the so-called white man is cursed from the earth. He needs other nations to provide for him. All right, because he's a murderer. A fugitive, because he's running from the judgment of being a murderer, and a vagabond, which he's all over the world. He's scattered all over the world, conquering the world. That shall thou be in the earth. And how does he conquer the earth? With the sword. The name Cain means a dagger, a sword. All right, Esau was blessed with the sword because he is a sword. It says, And Cain said unto him, Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me, because he would look different. He would look like a so-called white man. And they never seen such and like that, nothing like that. So he would have been killed. And Yahweh said unto him, Therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And that's why if you kill a so-called white man, especially like a cop or anything like that, murder him, because there's a difference between killing and murder. Killing is righteous, but I'm saying if you murder a cop or whatever, even if it was in, righteous, you say so-called self-defense, you kill a cop. If it's a so-called white cop, you're going, they're going to put you under the prison, try to kill you in the prison, right? Because the Lord has put a hedge around the so-called white man because he's working for the Lord, all right? Which the so-called white man is the physical manifestation of Satan. All right, and he's cursed. All right, he's going to be destroyed, but he's also blessed with the sword, which he's able to destroy and devour. All right, so going back to that katan, the word for small in Obadiah verse 2. All right, dealing with Edom, the so-called white race. It says young, small. All right, because they are the minority. All right, they are not the majority. They are the minority. All right, unimportant, which Esau is unimportant. It tells you that in 2nd Ezra, and what is it? 6 and verse it's in its 50s. It says in verse 56, As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. Right? They oppress us. Now let's go back. It says, Young. It says Strong's definition, Katan, abbreviated, i.e., in other words, diminutive, literally, in quantity, size, being that they're the minority, not the majority, because they only have one or two kids, and most of the time they're homosexuals. It says size or number, or figuratively, in age, right? Which they're going to have a short age compared to our eternity, or importance, which they are not the chosen, they are the hated. It says least, lesser, little one, smallest one, quantity, thing, younger, youngest, which is dealing with the so-called white men. All right? Because he came out of so-called blacks. All right? Isaac and Rebekah were so-called black people that had twins, Jacob and Esau. Esau was the firstborn, and he came out red because he was the reincarnation of Cain, who lost his skin color for killing his brother. And then Abel came back as Jacob. All right? And out of Jacob came the Israelites, and out of Esau came the Edomites. And Esau even only had 5 sons compared to Jacob's 12 sons. See? Esau, he had 5 sons. All right? All right? And Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, had 12 sons. All right? So the book of Obadiah is dealing with Edom clearly, because it clearly says up there at the top, right? The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the supreme power Yahweh concerning Edom. Let me jump to verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Which all the heathen outnumber Esau, Edom. All right? Esau, Edom is the minority, and the Israelites are the majority. But even the other heathens outnumber Esau. All right? Now, dealing with one more part of that being the youngest. All right? How is Esau the youngest when he was the firstborn, right? It says young, younger, or youngest. All right? America is the youngest out of these 7 heads. All right? Which you have these 7 heads that represent Esau's empires. Greeks, Romans, Spain, Britain, Germania Minor, Germania Major. All right? And then America, which you also have France. All right? But America is the whore that rides the beast. All right? And it came out of these 7 heads. All right? Being the youngest that is going to go into perdition. Revelation 17. All right? Revelation 17. And it is... I'll start at 8. It says, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, because the Roman Empire was in the time of John the Revelator. All right, that's who put him on the island of Patmos. It says that the beast that thou sawest was and is not, because he didn't see the reincarnation of Rome, right, through America. And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, out of Europe. What is this? This is the European Union. It says, and go into perdition. Who's going into perdition? America, the youngest of them all. It says, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life. Because who is Edom? From the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is, because America is the reincarnation of Rome. All right? It says, and there is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, 7 countries, 7 governments, on which the woman sitteth. The woman is the whore, America. It says, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come, because Rome was in power, but America was going to come out of Rome. All right? It says, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. All right? That short space is during this time now, from the Renaissance unto the end. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, which is America. All right? Now I want to clarify too on here on 10. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And he cometh, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Which you had these empires, right, in the past ruling, but before the Greeks, you had these empires. You had Babylon, which you had the first Babylonians, which were Hamites, and then it went into the Assyrians. Then you had the Medes and the Persians, and then you had the Greeks, and then you had the Roman Empire, and then the 10 toes, which are the 10 horns on the 7 heads. All right, let me see if I get a better picture. All right.
Chapter 22. And Jesus answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king which made a...
Salakia. That just started on its own. But now, here is a better picture of it. It says, Nebuchadnezzar's dream of the latter days, which you had the Babylonian Empire, which was under the Assyrian...
And sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding.
Salakia. It says, the Babylonian, which once again you had Ham, which the Egyptians were Ham, and they were ruling Babylon also. And you had the Assyrians take Babylon from Ham, which you had the Babylonian Empire, which the southern kingdom was enslaved. The northern kingdom came to what you know as the Americas. It says Persia, which it was Medes and the Persians. The Medes are Japhetic people, and the Persians are who you know as the East Indians. It says Greece, which the Greeks were Edomites, so-called Caucasians, starting with Alexander the Greek, which you could read about them in the book of Daniel, also in the Maccabees. It says in Rome, and then Rome took over from Greek, right, starting with Caesar, and they ruled until they fell, which was about 96 AD. And then you had the Dark Ages, when dark-skinned people began to rule after the fall of Rome. All right? But you had Israelites ruling it, and you also had these Arabs. That's why you had Israelites claiming to be Moors, because they were following the Arabs. All right? But this shows you also what's going to happen in these 10 toes, all right, that were set up. They're going to be destroyed at the coming of Yahweh Shai. All right? So these Edomites dealing with America are the youngest of all these so-called empires that Esau has set up on the earth. All right? So I just wanted to get that point out. This book of Obadiah is dealing with the Edomites. Edom will be humbled. But they're so proud they'll never be humbled. That's why they have to be made extinct. All right, that's why it says right here. It says in verse 8 of Obadiah, shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? So mount means nation. And thy mighty men, OT men, the German Nazis, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. So they were trying to find something to change the future, but they can't. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, so the violence that so-called white man has carried out against the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, the Israelite man, it says, shame shall cover thee, because you're being revealed as the devil, and thou shalt be cut off forever. You're going to be made extinct. It says in verse 15, for the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen, which all the heathen are in bed with Esau, the United Nations, which it tells you that these devils mingled themselves with men. All right? In these last days, they mingled themselves with men. Daniel 2 and here it is. 2 and verse 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, because the empire back then was strong, right? Iron, the two iron legs, Rome, right? Iron is a strong metal. And then it says, is mixed with miry clay, meaning debt. All right, all the debt that America brings upon this system that Esau's created, all right, they have to pay for that debt. It says, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. That's why you got the United Nations. But they shall not cleave one to another. They hate Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Even as iron is not mixed with clay. And in the days of these kings, which it shows you in this picture, these kings are here. America is here, right? What's going to happen? It's going to be destroyed, their system, by the rock, Yahweh Shai. It says, and in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven, Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, set up a kingdom, starting with his elect, prophesying, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. We're not going to go into slavery under any other nation, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So these other kingdoms, right, are going to be destroyed and put in slavery under the Israelites, starting with the so-called white race. It says, it shall be as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Verse 17, but upon Mount Zion, which are the prophets of Israel, shall be deliverance, including the women that are with us, that the Lord ordains. And there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, which we're fanning this truth, and it's getting him red hot, where he wants to come down with that sword. And they shall kindle in them, even though we're in slavery, and they control the propaganda that we see. The Lord is moving us by the Holy Spirit. We're remembering ourselves. It says, and devour them, the other nations, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh has spoken it. So the other nations, they're going to be allowed to prosper after their 1,000 years of slavery and service to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai by serving the Israelites. It tells you in Revelation 21, it says, verse 24, and the nations of them which are saved, meaning preserved to serve, shall walk in the light of it, which we're going to teach them the laws. And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. So they're going to give tithes, right? The first fruits. But Esau, Edom, he's wicked. He's really Byzantine, meaning backwards. The Byzantine Empire in the old day was actually Israelite Jakes. But the so-called white man who controls history narratives, right? Byzantine, he uses that name. Byzantine means backwards. All right? And really, the kingdom of Esau, the so-called white man, is the backward society where a man could become a woman, right? They eat their babies, they kill their babies. It's backwards here, man. It's completely wicked here. All right? Esau can't get right, and he's going to be destroyed for it. All praises and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushai Ba'Hashem HaRukakodash, double honors unto our apostle elders which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abba.